Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Regretting the fact that I walked out of this house without a jacket on. I don't know why I thought it was going to be rather warm, but I got a lot of walking to do too. This is probably not the greatest idea, but I'm gonna walk in it, and it's actually pretty nice. I don't see any rain clouds, so you just got to deal with the cold. And if I'm walking fast enough, it won't be that cold. So yeah, a little windy. Hope you guys can hear me very well. There's a lot that happened last night in Gaza, and I am fortunate enough to not be there, obviously. You know what I mean? I don't speak of these things as if I can even remotely relate, but I think it's been rather fitting that over the last 2 days I've been ramping up my conversation about this situation. And the ceasefire was basically broken last night. 500 children, women and children, some grown-ups, I'm sure, but footage is coming out, man. Israel bombed Palestine yesterday. I'm not sure which part. It might have been Gaza, it might have been the West Bank. I'm not really sure where they hit, but they killed 500 people last night, mostly children. And the footage is everywhere, man. Footage is all over Instagram as usual. You see the bodies, you see the crying, you know, you hear the incidences that are there for us to be aware of. I'm just like, I go to sleep last night, and it's crazy because I think before I went to sleep, before I had this meditative space, I think I seen something that alluded to them being hit or something like that. And since we had already been talking about this on my channel and telling people that, yo, this has to stop, I don't want to say that the Lord like provided me some prelude to understanding that something bad was about to happen. I think I probably seen something before I went to sleep that kind of alluded to, yo, they broke the ceasefire or something. So I don't actually know the sequence from which this took place versus how it went. But last night, the Lord told me, he was like, you're going to see some things. You're going to see some things in this genocide now. He said, you're going to see some things. And that's what came to mind before I went to sleep. Probably went to sleep about 10:30, 11 o'clock. People outside my window woke me up about 12:30. And the footage, oh, puppy there, I don't know. You tell me why that stopped me about track. But the footage that was there when I woke up about 12:30, I woke up, grabbed my phone, saw a couple texts from people, and then went on Instagram randomly. I think I went to share what I've been doing these last couple days is taking a playlist that I've made to the date that I'm in, since, you know, it shows you photos in your Google Photos. This happened 2 years ago, this happened 5 years ago. So if I see that one of those pictures is a playlist that I made, what I do is I share it. So that's what I probably did last night. I shared, and then it took me straight to my Instagram because of it. I sure hope y'all can hear me, man. This wind is blowing like crazy. It actually isn't crazy cold though, but whatever. And when I saw what I saw there, I heard the Lord said, this is what I was talking about. You're gonna see. It's been about, I'd say about 3-4 months since we've seen these type of images. We've been seeing people passing away, but not like we had seen during the thick of the genocide. And essentially what the Lord was saying is that it's about to ramp back up again, man. It's about to ramp back up again. That you were having these conversations over the last 2 days, not just by accident, that this is back. They only stopped for a minute, it seems to me, just to get Donald Trump in office, to change the regime, get the agreements going for what Trump will allow, and then they're going to ramp up back to the same stuff that they've been doing, which is targeting children and women, targeting the innocent, and slaughtering them before our very eyes. So the Lord was basically preparing my spirit for yet another leg of what it is that's going on there. And it was just as awful as it's always been, man. And we went through 400 something days of watching this stuff. Obviously, they went through 400 plus days of going through it, so it ain't the same. But just from my perspective, 400 days of watching this. Get a little bit of a break while we change the guard on our presidential bullshit. And now they ramp it back up again when he settled in office. You know, the Lord was expressing to me last night in the meditation, after he told me that you're going to see some things in this genocide. He said, you know, I'm very tired of this. That was the energy that came to me from the Lord. As he spoke to me in the same voice I always trust. He said, man, I'm very tired of this. And it wasn't like the wrath kind of tired. It was the, I'm exhausted of this, yo. So God is just essentially putting in my heart, coming directly from him. He's tired, man. He really tired of this. And I don't know, I mean, I'm like, well, you know, with all due respect, God, I'd imagine not as nearly as tired as they are going through it, you know? Like, that was my attitude, like, just as I feel I'm tired of it, but not nearly as tired as the people who are going through it, you know what I'm saying? But we're seeing dead babies, man, dead children. The first thing I saw, the image that I saw first in regards to the new bombing that took place last night at 2:30 in the morning, their time, bombing people while they sleep, was 5 children lined up dead. None of them older than 7 years old. One of them's toddler. Lined up, just gone. Blood everywhere. Carnage of their little bodies. That's the first thing I saw, and it was like, you know what came to mind? Nothing. Nothing. I'm used to seeing it. I mean, it took some time off from doing it. They took some time off. But like, this is the type of images I was seeing every day in my phone. I'm like, oh, they ramped it up again, huh? They definitely were going to slow it down when Donald Trump got in office. But it wasn't going to be permanent because, as I tell y'all, the motive is clear. It's not about just the land. It ain't just about even the spiritual ramifications for which we illustrated. It has those things in it, but that ain't the only reason why they're doing this. They're doing that because they're trying to destroy these people. They're trying to kill them all, man. And that's why I'm here to essentially remind all of us that whatever you're looking at in regards to this genocide, it ain't about to end, fam. Until they kill them all off. Like, that's really what they intend to do. And so as we stand here focused on hoping that there's a ceasefire or hoping that they won't actually do this, that's what they're doing to continue to do because they're not done with the job. The job is clear. Wipe them all out. That's all they're trying to do. It's not about nothing else. Just wipe them all out. By hook or by crook, targeting the kids. That's what it is. They're targeting the kids. They're not targeting just grown men and soldiers. They're targeting children. And if you paying attention to what I'm seeing, most of the bodies that you've seen are children. Little ones, babies. And they justify this because they blame Hamas. Hamas did this. Blame Hamas. Hamas is the ones that's raising them up to be evil. But these people are effectively agreeing as grown people to kill these people's children. So who raised who to do what is what I ask all these Zionists. Did you not raise each other to be fine with the killing of these people? Every accusation is a confession. And this is yet another leg of that example. And so, I hope you can hear me. This wind is blowing real bad. I'm really concerned about the audio here, but I just understand that this is just going forward. We can be tired of it. We can raise our voices. We can stomp our feet and protest and all of that. But those who control the bombs control the fate of these children. And I hear my Palestinian brothers saying, men are dying too, women are dying too. And I want to respect them. I want to say, yo, yes, they're killing these people. Don't belittle the lives of the men who are lost. But you got to forgive me for not valuing a man's life the same way I value a baby's life. I'm just not wired that way personally. Maybe that's a deficiency to my own heart. But I'll kill 6 men to save 1 child. This is how I'm wired. with respect to life in all ways and shapes and forms. It ain't the same to me. Like I said, maybe that's a deficiency to my own humanity, but it's not the same to me. And so I represent myself when I speak that way, to retort to those who say don't mineralize men by saying it's men's responsibility to fight and die for children. Not to say that my Palestinian brothers are failing in any way. They're not failing. But it's just, as it pertains to my perception and such, I'm going to single out the children's lives that are being lost, because that's what I care about. A grown man lives, a grown man sins, a grown man is already raised. We're supposed to throw our lives at other men for in protection of our women and our children. We should be happy to protect them with our lives. I'm not belittling a man, nor in this era where we look at one another and say, who do you wish to be, rather than who it is that you inherently. Men want equal rights as women. Men want to be in a space from which they can choose to be whoever they want to be. Women may grow to be men in this society. So a lot of what I'm saying is it's going to be very offensive to a lot of people. But I want to tell them that I don't have a heart for that. I respect that maybe that's a deficiency to my personality, but I'm here to express my personality. Where I'm at, not necessarily where I'm going. And where I'm at, I don't mind men dying. I mind children dying. Straight up. We can all go. Save that child. Save those children. Let the women raise the babies. And new men will come about from that. But don't let the kids die. And so that's what I just want to express. That's what's in my mind. And I ask for forgiveness for anybody who's offended by that. Or people who say, well, who defines a man? Who defines a woman? I'm not interested in those point of views in this conversation. We're talking about Palestine. And we're talking about children dying. And we're talking about driving the point home that the kids are losing their lives to entire states with trillions of dollars at their disposal. I'm going to point out the children. Not to mention that, quite honestly, Israel's singling out the children. They're not targeting men. They got smart bombs, tactical processes that can, pinpoint anybody they want. And they're finding ways to kill babies. They're finding ways to kill children, toddlers. So in the presence of them singling out the children to kill, I'm going to single out the fact that it's the children dying. That's what needs to be articulated as well. Those who follow me, man, you got to understand exactly what I just articulated in these last few sentences. For those who want to support Israel in defeating Hamas, you do understand that the target is children. It's not grown-ups. It's not grown-ups, y'all. I got to make my doctor's appointment, by the way. My alarm just went off. I ain't stopping the video for that, but I do need to do that. But, like, come on, man. As a grown man, if they were targeting grown men, I would have a different tone for this. That's a war. Men versus men, soldier versus soldier, that's a war. Soldiers versus children, that's not a war. These people are justifying that by saying the children are going to grow up to be soldiers. So rather than wait for them to become soldiers, they'd rather kill them while they're children to protect themselves from any threat. That's what you're doing. That's what you're dealing with there. These people know these kids can't harm them. They think they will harm them tomorrow. Just that at least they want you to believe that this is a viable reason to kill children. They're killing children. They can target men. They choose not to. That's what I need people who follow me to understand. They can target men. Israel and the American government, who are helping Israel engage in what you consider a war can target men. They can target soldiers who are of age and killing age and fighting age. They choose not to. They want to destroy the toddlers, fam. And that is why I will not let up on these people on my platform. This is why. If they only targeted grown men, my interest in this conversation would not be the same, because a man versus a man will figure it out. We will figure it out. Children can't defend themselves. Children don't have any, you don't have a crystal ball to tell me what a child's going to grow up to be, what their potential is, or what their heart's going to be lying as. They're empty slates of possibility and the carry forward of the evolution of man. This is what they want to wipe out. It's not a threat to them. They just are evil. That's it. These children are not a threat to these You know what I'm trying to say? They're not. They want to kill the kids just out of the strength of the evil that they agree to. And I'm telling you, there's nothing noble about that. That's not noble. That's not honorable. They know it's not honorable, but they hide behind religion and text to align them special treatment as it pertains to this egregious behavior. It's only egregious if someone else does it to anyone else. If they do it to whom they deem necessary to do it to, then it's considered noble because it's them doing it. And because of that unique, demonic, and twisted identity that they agree to amongst themselves, this is why they allow themselves to do such heinous and cowardice acts. So by way of what they agree to and government's adherence to this agreement, everyone is expected to give them a pass for what is otherwise egregious and terroristic cowardice and shameful attacks on others. On children, man. And I, as an American citizen, do not subscribe to that for which is above my head with my government. As someone who descends from multiple people who fought and died for this country in various ways, whether it be soldiers or slaves or Native Americans who were duped into believing that these people wouldn't kill them and ultimately died that way. I don't subscribe to anything that has to do with this. I don't want to benefit from this. As I was sitting up in my in the unit that my uncle so graciously paid for, that I'm in, and all the different things that I'm afforded, I listened to, or read rather, what was described by one of the American officials in government, essentially saying anyone who attacks America or Israel will have hell to pay. As I benefit from that threat, from which is supposed to protect me and everybody that I know, I say to you that if they're intentional on hurting children for no reason to stand behind that, I don't care for my own safety, bro. I'll die right now to keep them kids from dying. That's not a problem. I'll die of something anyway. I don't need to be that safe if this is what's going to make me safe. It's assholes who will go around threatening people for defending children that they ultimately want to erase. I'm not interested in being protected by those people. I'll take my chances. But the things I've seen in my phone just over the last 24 hours help me understand that all of this I'm afforded, it ain't worth it. If this is what's going to be the agreement and the alignment of what it is that we see here. 500 children, women and children they're attacking with bombs controlled by our tax dollars. And I'm supposed to just sit back and be cool with that? Not use my platform and my voice to speak against that when I'm seeing the evidence of this behavior in my phone? I'm not just talking about hearsay. I saw the bodies. That's what I'm telling you. I saw them. And so for me, it's like I don't feel protected by the flag. I don't care about this flag. All I see when I look at that damn flag is the death of my ancestors and the death of the people that I've seen in my phone over the last 500 days. I'm not interested in the American flag. I'm really not. And there's a lot of people who don't agree with me who are in my family, my brother, my uncle, my grandfather who's passed, my father who fought. They all fought for this country. They're soldiers and they were raised to respect that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. Do you know why? Because I keep seeing what's underneath that flag is the blood of children and the blood of my ancestors. I don't see what y'all see. There's nothing noble about that. This is a colonial project stolen from the backs of people who didn't deserve to die or be suffered the ills of disgrace at the mercy of those who are willing to tell the story about them in a false way. You think I stand for that? You think I think that's noble? That's not noble. You think I respect people doing stuff like that? Never in life would I ever think to support that. To fight for that, to die for that, to let that raise me into thinking that it's right in any way. There's nothing righteous about that. I'm not brainwashed by that. That's silliness. I need people to understand the intensity and the pain in my voice. I'm sick of seeing kids dying in my phone so that this piece of shit of a country could continue to stand on the backs of people who ultimately don't have anything and deem themselves noble and worthy because they cheat the world. That shit is over with, man. This thing needs to fall, and the allies that are attached to this thing who make it so that it's possible for this thing to continue to stand in tyranny needs to fall with it. How many kids do we have to see dead before we understand that it's our fault that it's happening because we keep on standing under that damn flag, acting like it didn't kill everything it could to assure that it could wave? Enough. You want me to love my country? Kill it. It's better off dead. The world is safer with it dead. The world is safer with us dead, Americans. And if you don't understand how serious I am about that, then you ain't paying attention to what it is I've been paying attention to for the last 500 days. It ain't enough that we have to kill those people, but we also got to tell everybody that they're terrorists. They're not terrorists. We the terrorists. We benefit from every war in this world. And we stand up here with all our influence and pretend like it's not happening. Like it's too political to talk about the suffering of others. You don't know they're suffering, but you deserve it. People want me to stand here and act like I'm proud of this. I ain't proud of this. It's a disgrace. Seeing children murdered in my damn phone and see people who are supposed to be elected officials standing there talking about we stand with the people who did it. You guys deserve a chair or worse. And I'm praying for it. And y'all need to know that. And don't give me Netanyahu, don't give me Trump, don't give me Biden. Those are faces. Those are not the people behind the energy that's going on here. Those are puppeteers, actors. They don't have the power that you know they don't have. Don't even tell me about no damn power. Talk to me about BlackRock. Talk to me about Vanguard. That's who knows what's going on and controls a lot of what's happening here. Zionist whales that live to kill and slaughter children in the Middle East. And you want me as a grown man in my right mind to walk down the street and talk about something else when this is what I'm seeing in my phone? You want me to turn a blind eye so that y'all can keep making money off the backs of this nonsense? It won't happen. It hasn't been happening. I'm not interested in that. You want to call me unhinged because I see some crazy stuff and that crazy because of it? Go ahead. If your mind allows you to see what it is that I saw and not feel the way I feel sorry for you because there's something wrong with you. And it's been done to you. You're probably a victim of some type of warping that would allow you to think you're better than everybody else. And because of it, you're welcome to live while others suffer. I'm sorry, but that's not what I feel. I don't hear the energy like that. I don't care about that. I'm not interested in what the Zionists can do to me or why. I'm watching what they're doing to children. I'm ready to die. And need to be, because they're likely going to kill me. And they're going to kill you too if you let them. This is the reality of as an American. This is the reality as anybody in this world that adheres to this nonsense thinking it's going to protect it. You are not protected. Its enemies are coming for you. It may use itself against you. Just the same, while you're sitting there trying to live for it and adhere to it, it will sacrifice you if it feels necessary to do so. It's proven that time and time again. What do you think October 7th was? You think the poor people that they've had their foot on their necks for 75 years did this to these people? They couldn't do nothing to them people. That was the point. They were suppressed so much they couldn't even have power on in their homes 24 hours. They couldn't even leave their areas. They're throwing rocks and stones at people who have sanctioned bombs. You got companies like these assholes right here paying for everything to ensure that these assholes are able to keep on doing this nonsense. The poor people gonna do to these people? Can't do nothing to them. They're chosen, governments agree to it, everybody sends their money to them a million different ways. They ain't got no enemies. The only enemy they have is their own intention to destroy themselves by way of this horrible reputation that they're building in the presence of all of us who are watching them kill children. That is exactly what's happening there. You want me to adhere to that? I won't adhere to that. You want to be worried about my own money? They have control of that damn money. They stole all of it. A million different ways. Looking at a million different slaves. All warped into some type of weird mentality that makes them love their abuser. I'm not with it, man. I don't care if I'm the only person on the planet saying this shit. I'm telling all of y'all, I ain't with none of it. These people have every right to defend themselves from this. Some kids have every right to defend themselves from what's been going on for 75 years in their lives. 75 years. Terror. Man, don't expect for me to act sane when I see shit like this in my phone. Don't expect for me to walk down the street just talk about the Lakers when I'm seeing shit like this in my phone. Afraid of who? Afraid of them? We're afraid of children? With access to every damn thing in the whole world, basically? With entire governments licking their boot, adhering to whatever they choose to do? I ain't afraid of none of that. I'm afraid of what happens if I don't speak against any of that. I'm afraid of what they've already done to these people. You want me to say I love my country? For what? My country don't even have no love in it. Where's the love? You're killing children and just being fine with it, clapping for the people who are doing it, man. I ain't got no interest in that. This ain't my country. Are you crazy? You must be. To see what I saw and not have a problem with it, you have to be. There's something wrong with your brain. You sit up here and act like this is done and just. This isn't done and just. They stole this, man. Everything we got here is taking an ill-gotten gain. Everything we do on the backs of those who have been slain. And you want me to be indifferent to their pain because I don't suffer from it? I do. What's the point? Capitalism and devilish confusion. Poor cultures that are meant to make me hate myself and ultimately weaponize myself against my own brother. Funded by these same devils that are killing these children in the Middle East. And I'm supposed to look at them and say, well, I can't talk about them. They're trying to kill me. Why the hell wouldn't I talk about them? They're trying to kill everybody who look like me. Why the hell wouldn't I point my gun at them? Well, it's just not fair. It's not, I mean, it's just not right. I mean, whatever the hell type of warped psychology that you allow these people to put under your skulls, instead of busting their skulls in defense of everything innocent, is something that is just, I won't go forward in subscribing to. Whatever the hell it is y'all got going on, if they teaching you that shit in school, I didn't learn it. If they teaching you that shit in the church, I didn't go. If they teaching you shit at home, my mom didn't. And I'm glad she didn't. I'm glad I didn't go to school. I'm glad I stayed away from every bit of the human training that took place in these Western spaces that would otherwise make it so that I look at these races and adhere to them and say they're chosen above me. They ain't above shit. They're baby killers, they're cowards. If not for the presence of everybody who spoils them, they would be getting their ass whooped every day for the energy they engage in. If not for the presence of entire armies helping them fund their bullshit, they would be crushed under the bottom of the feet of people like me. And you want me to hear this so people can keep driving shit like that? Get the fuck out of here. I'm telling y'all right now, the nice me does not exist. I've seen too much. I've seen too much. I've seen too many kids dead in my phone. Too much, bro. The scared me don't exist. The one who will say, well, this is probably not good for my future if I talk about them people. Fuck them people. Literally. Fuck them. Because at this point, they've been killing children left and right for 500 days, bro. Fuck each and every one of you Zionists. Die. Literally. Let that be heard. Let that be understood. And know that it's in defense of those who can't defend themselves. Not out of the anger in my own heart, but out of the sadness of my own heart, seeing so many dead babies die at the presence and the feet of these people. Because they can't defeat their own ego. Engaging in all types of evil, man. Ain't that type of stupid, bro. I'm the type of stupid that say, fuck them. That's the type of stupid I am. Not the type of stupid that say, well, maybe I don't get millions of dollars if I don't adhere to them because, yo, they know. No, boycott everything they got going on. They slaughtering children at night. And I guess I'm the crazy one because I have a problem with it. I'll be that. I age better than every last one of y'all because of it. I stand more noble than all of them because they won't say anything. They see it, but they won't say nothing. That's fine. If that's what you want to be, if that's how you want to be remembered, go for it. Me, you clearly see, I stood against it. I stood against genocide. I stood against Zionism. I stood against people who pretended to be Jews who were not Jewish but wanted to control people by way of the guilt that's placed upon the Jews, or against those who have ultimately stood against nonsense for which they do. And they call it anti-Semitism. It ain't anti-Semitism at all. Because when it comes to Jewish people who are standing up for what's right, I stand with them all. So by way of that understanding, coupled with the understanding that I have no understanding, how could I hate that for which I don't understand? But what I do not like, for I do not subscribe to hate. Hate is a curse that you place upon your own soul. I have no interest in doing that. But what I do not like is people pretending to be people they're not, wearing their hat, pretending to hide behind their religion, and then proceeding to do all of the worst things in the world. I don't like that. If you want to call that hate, you can call it hate. I don't like that. I've cussed more in this video than I ever have, and I have a lot more curse words in my heart to say. I'm not sorry for that. I want people to understand I have no interest in being kind right now. You go and see what I saw and tell me how kind you feel you are. If you're not a Zionist, you shouldn't be kind either. This ain't the time to sit back and watch your mouth. It's time to watch the footage that I just saw over the last 24 hours, over the last 500 days. And they see the pompousness that's being engaged in by those who are engaging in it. And how they're getting away with it. That's the evil in the circumstance. It's not that they're just doing this. They're standing out front. They're coming into our spaces and saying, yo, let's wave the flag that we represent because you are owned by us. Absolute and utter fascism. They stand out in the front proud. They protest against people who protest against them. spewing lies about the every damn thing. Really, everything. They're liars. Claiming victimhood without any logic or truth attached to it. Just a blind dystopian, just craziness, basically. They want people like me to just walk down the street and talk about something else. Because if I don't, I have no chance of being famous for all of the good shit that I can do. For all the talent that God gave me naturally, I just cap off of my anything because they control all the doors. They're going to just gatekeep me out. Man, I don't want to be anywhere near them damn gates. Y'all going to burn each other alive in them damn gates and be trapped behind them freaking gates. That's what I know. While everybody trying to get in where you at, I want to stay the hell out because I know what you're going to do to one another. I know what your energy derives from. It's a self-hatred that weaponizes you against God for who can destroy you. You don't like yourselves at all. You don't like each other at all, Zionists. Or any of the devil's entities of any kind. Where you at, we need to stay away from if we're people of God. We shouldn't even want to be in your gates. That's when success fails us, when we need what you have. When we convince ourselves that the only way that we can get what it is that the world is about for us is if we adhere to what it is that you do and trust you as you continue to betray that trust. I have no interest in doing that. That's spiritually bankrupt. I have no interest in engaging in that. I walk with God, man. I'm not worried about you. That's what I want people to understand. The enemy fears me. He knows what I can do. If a million people heard what I had to say, it wouldn't be much else to talk about. They would know they need to continue to talk about what's been going on over the last 500 days, because that's all there is really going on in this country. We're paying for it. It's not like we just stand here and say, oh, that ain't nothing to do with me. It's over there. No, you're paying for it. It's your tax dollars. You have everything to do with it. People being slaughtered because you're paying your country so that your country don't put you in jail. That's exactly what's happening. The money ain't going nowhere good. I got a homeless encampment outside my room. People are starving out here. Ain't nothing good coming to that tax money. That's going over there to them, so that they can continue engaging in whatever they choose. And what do they choose? You see it. Ain't hard to tell. What you think I've been yelling about? What you think I've been cussing about? Blame Hamas. That's a narrative that doesn't hold any weight, friend. If that's what you're going to retort with, that's not real. That's what they say to stupid people who ain't going to ask the right questions or do the right homework. All you got to do is a little homework. You know what time it is. And if you're afraid of them, say that. But if you're going to tell me blame the people who've been bullied for the last 75 years in some unimaginable ways for wanting to stand up against that bullying, you got to make that be consistent in everything else you talk about in every other conversation, because otherwise you look crazy to me. That blame Hamas narrative don't hold no weight, man. Not when you have any information about what they've been doing for the last 75 years. They don't hold no weight. People stand up to their oppressors. They stand up against the bullies. They stand up against the empire. Why the hell would I be mad at them? If the empire ain't striking them, there ain't no reason for them to strike back. What the hell I'm mad at them for? They losing their kids at night. 2:30 in the morning, kids getting bombed and stuff, and they ain't supposed to strike back? That's the problem. They haven't been effective in striking back. You want me to condemn Hamas? For what? You want me to be so afraid of you and all the evil that you do that my God has already told me he's tired of you doing so much that I'm afraid to say that Hamas has every right to defend itself? Hamas has every right to defend itself. They're asking for freedom. I can lose my voice for saying a phrase that respects their freedom, but then I want to sit here and say one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, and I can't say from the river to the sea? Come on, man. Stop being ridiculous. Make your logic at least line up. To be a little consistent, if you will. Because when it comes to these people, y'all just don't have no consistency at all. But when it comes to other stuff, oh yeah, well, you know, I mean, we support that. Oh yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's just an evil empire. We got to stop that. But when it comes to these assholes, it's like, oh, hold on now. Hold on now. Don't be ridiculous. Let's think about this. Don't be political. And the funny thing is you did the same thing to my people, and now you want my people to sit back and not have any recollection of such behaviors at all. You did the same thing to me. 3/5, it's law. What these assholes did to the people of Haiti. They fought there for their freedom. They gained their freedom. And then these assholes sanctioned them for freeing themselves. Well, you stole our property by freeing yourselves. So therefore, you owe us money. Like, what, are you serious? Very serious. It cost us a lot. Like, man, and then we sit up here and act like we're friends with people that did that to our people in so many different ways. I don't understand how we can even be friends with you people when you do stuff like this. I honestly don't. Let alone adhere to the evil that you do. In modern times. That was, I guess we're just supposed to be too enriched in our own things, trying to get money in a space that's capped off for us to even reach our highest potential by way of that for which you control, to even stand up against you. We're supposed to be so enriched in all that we've done in the exhaustion of fighting for you and fighting for this country in the name of ourselves that we're supposed to not turn against this nonsense. Man, I'm not rolling with that. That's self-exhaustion. For all of y'all who fought for this country and don't want to stand against those who've sold this country down the river, who've done evil things in the name of your flag. You're exalting yourself, man. I need y'all to understand that. Because that's what a lot of people's point of view is. You don't disrespect the flag. I fought for the flag. My brothers fought for the flag. But look what they flying it for. Look what they flying it for. For the right to let Israel kill kids? That's what this is supposed to be about? For the right to not give people their just due? For the horrible things that's happened to them? For people to not have the right to stand up to the oppressors who have sick sex fetishes and a desire to kill children? What the hell is wrong with you? Well, it's political. They can't do it. I mean, they control so much. They shouldn't. It's your job. You're the soldier. Do something. You're supposed to fight to defend this country. We're under attack, buddy. This is the problem, man. You got too many people warped up in the idea of America rather than the uplifting of us out of this space from which all of our wrongdoing defines us. It defines us all over the world, and you wonder why you feel like you have to deport these people and get these people out of here because you done pissed off everybody. You don't know who's going to hurt you tomorrow, and you keep doing it. That's why you want to deport all these people, because you know you didn't wrong them. You don't know when they're going to come and slit your damn throat. So you want to get everybody out of here that you deem could potentially want to do that to you. They ain't taking your jobs. You worried about them taking your lives. Because of all of the ill-gotten gain that you've gotten at their expense. This is why you're so afraid of everybody that ain't legal. Because you've been bullying everybody. You've been evil toward these people. An exhaustion of your very own selves. And because you don't know no other way to live, you don't know how else to not have enemies that want to do things to you potentially. And for which you apply to them, so you know it's really bad because you know how bad you are. That's the elephant in the room. That's why these people are so afraid of their enemies, because they're awful toward their enemies. And they can't see outside of their own intentions toward others. They apply all of the evil that they do to other people to the people that ultimately they think are going to want to come back at them. I don't subscribe to that nonsense. I don't live my life in fear. Not a fear of those who are fearful, not fear of those who would otherwise want to harm me for anything that I otherwise have done to them. Do you know why? Because I don't stand to do things to people that would make them want to hurt me. I don't subscribe to those cultures that make me look over my shoulder every 5 minutes and wonder if I'm deserving of death. I am not. Only people I look to destroy in that regard are people who are looking to destroy children, for which I will take that. That's honorable. I don't look over my shoulder to worry about them at all. Because I know damn well, at the end of the day, my life is fleeting regardless. It's not about whether or not I was afraid of them. It was about whether or not I was willing to stand up against them as they were afraid of children. And I am not, man. I'm not. I ain't worried about how I look when I cuss them out. I ain't worried about how I look when I say they need to die. I ain't worried about none of that anymore. Because at the end of the day, what else is there worth fighting for but against fascism that targets kids and looks to weaponize themselves against people who are the chosen ones, apparently? And using my country, the country that my people fought for, as a means of justifying the worst behavior that my God would otherwise be tired of at this point. Just tired, man. They don't have no right to do none of those things. They've never had the right to do any of the things that they've done to people in the name of themselves, in the name of exalting themselves and rising themselves to power. They never had a right to do any of this. They just did it because they wanted to, and because nobody was strong enough and powerful enough to stop them. As a result, people suffer because of it. Suffer unnecessary deaths for no reason. Children. Poor people. You think I'm worried about dying because I fought against that? I'm worried about living in a world where I didn't. I'm worried about living 100 years in a world where I sat back and did nothing. I'd rather die right now than go through that. Ain't no good times for a man that's a coward in the presence of children dying. You don't get to look yourself in the mirror and see nothing you respect. I don't get to face my God at the end of my life and face my ancestors with any pride in my heart when I live my life that way, adhering to people like this for doing stuff like this as they continue to exalt themselves to no end. No, friend, that is not real respect. That's not real living. This ain't real protection. We're not really protected. That's not real power. And they are not really chosen. And anybody that subscribes to that is just either mistaken or frozen. Because there's obviously no warmth to their heart. There's no goodness that they can subscribe to, that they can pinpoint within themselves that would allow for them to align with anything that actually is any good. And I tell you right now, if you trust me to be able to read off numbers to you in regards to a basketball game, why not trust me in regards to read off what it is I've seen to you over the last 500 days? Am I any less accurate? Do my eyes not work when it comes to this? I've seen dead babes, man. Bdf 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.